Welcome to Walls Explained. Today we're tackling something you don't see on most drywall channels: bullet holes. My coworker reckons these half-inch holes are from a .45 caliber handgun, the peacemaker of the old frontier. Since we're out here in the desert, I'm officially dubbing this the Saloon-Keeper's patch. I'm taking my razor knife to cut away all the torn, loose paper around the impact zone. If you don't remove this damaged paper, your patch will blister. Get it perfectly clean. Next, I'm locking it down with a 2-inch strip of fiberglass mesh tape. It's the perfect system for small blowouts like this. I'm hitting it immediately with a 45-minute quick set, or hot mud. I keep the coat tight, but float it out just enough. Hot mud is a setting type compound, meaning it cures chemically. It dries rock hard and won't shrink, unlike standard pre-mixed, drying type joint compounds that lose moisture and shrink as they dry. Before the finished coat, I'm giving these patches a quick scrape with my 6-inch knife. This is a massive advantage hot mud has over box mud. Setting type compound stays sculptable as it cures, whereas all-purpose is too soft and just gums up if you touch it while it's drying. See those checkered mesh squares peeking through? I can just shave them right off, leaving a perfectly flat surface. Even better, these scrapings are heavier than standard dust. Instead of floating around the house and getting into the vents, they drop straight to the floor for easy cleanup. They call it easy sand for a reason. Half the time, you don't even need sandpaper. You just scrape it smooth and move on. Once that hot mud sets, I'm switching over to all-purpose joint compound, or box mud, for a quick finish coat. Here's the technical reason. Hot mud actually dries significantly harder and smoother than standard drying type compounds. If I were to skip straight to texture, that dense hot mud would likely flash or show through the softer texture mud I'm using for the knockdown. By skimming it with box mud first, I'm creating a uniform surface with a consistent porosity, ensuring the texture and paint lay down perfectly even across the entire repair. Now for that artisan knockdown texture. I skip the mud on, let it tighten up, and then gently knock it down. It takes patience, but those round, flattened dots create visual noise that breaks up the eye's focus, making the patch disappear. We use this in the Southwest because of our expansive clay soil. Like a sponge, the ground swells and shrinks with the moisture levels, causing the house to shift. This heaving creates stress cracks, but a heavy texture masks that movement perfectly. After knocking down the texture, I'm taking a damp sponge around the perimeter to blend the edges into the existing wall. Here's the secret. This wall has been painted several times over the years, which softens and dulls the original texture. To match that buried look, I actually use a bit more moisture to over-sand the new mud. By slightly melting the peaks of my knockdown with the sponge, I'm pre-aging the patch so it doesn't look too sharp or new against the old finish. It's a small step that makes the difference between a patch you can see from across the room and one that completely disappears. Finally, I'm rolling on a coat of Dunn acrylic latex eggshell. Since I'm using a paint and primer in one, it seals the patch and matches the sheen in a single pass. The Saloon-Keeper's patch is officially history. Hit that like button and subscribe to Walls Explained for more drywall deep dives.